Hi guys, it's Nat here. Thought I'd better come on and do the next video of my envelope journal here. So I reckon what we'll do is start doing the inside pages. Now we're just going to cover. I figure we'll cover them all and then we can go back through and embellish. So we'll make a start with this front page. See if we can get these 2 pages done in this video. And then it'll give everyone something to work on for a while. So yes, we'll leave the cover. I reckon I usually do the cover last. I also seal over the cover, so yeah, might leave that till last. So make sure I've got it up the right way, which I have. So the first thing that we want to do is grab a whole pile of book pages. You just want a few different ones. You don't need a whole heap, but you just want a few that have your different aged pages, colours of aging pages, I should say. It's like a tongue twister, that is. I've also got some scraps of music paper here and some of my scraps of my tea-dyed papers. I might need to break down, depends how big. I've got a few big ones in there, but I might need some other bits of tea-dyed paper as well. Okay, now I'm just going to use my Helmars glue. I was thinking about using my decoupage glue or something like that, which would be nice and quick and seal as I go all the pages, but it's a bit messy in that. And it did work out all right using the Helmers on the inside here. Occasionally you get a little bit that comes up, so you just go with your fine tip glue and put that down, or you can seal afterwards. That's what I did with the cover. I used the Helmars to stick it down and then I sealed it with the decoupage glue afterwards. So I'll probably do something similar. Now, I just want to get this bit that's irritating me off. Don't want to pull it off or else I'll probably put a hole in it. So I'll do that. Alright, so now I've got to remember how I did it all again. So we want to create this pocket here that this tag goes into. So that's about up around here. Doesn't have to be spot on. So what we will do is cut the envelope about here. So now, I think I've moved my scissors. I'll just go get them. So it doesn't matter where, it's up to you. So I'll just do it about here. As long as it's sort of above the window anyway, because it won't just, yeah, a bit above the window, as you can see there. Now we'll chop it off here. Now that piece I'll keep and use. So that's the basis of this pocket. So really hard, isn't it? Next thing we want to do is put a piece of paper on this side of the inside so that when we look through the window, when you've got the tag out, you want some book page showing. I mean, you can leave it and just have the window showing. It depends on what colours and what theme you're going to do it. But as we're doing a vintage style, I'd like some book page showing through when I take my tag out. So we'll do that first so I don't forget. Now it doesn't have to cover the whole area, just enough so that you can see it. Although, in saying that, you are putting a tag in and out, so you do want to make it kind of smooth. So I'll try and get it around that area. So one of these might be all right, actually. I might just use one of these pages from this little dictionary that I have. So I'll be sticking that somewhere about like that. And then that's what we'll see. Now, you can be anal and try and get it so you can see words you want to see and all that, but I'm not too fussed today. So I hope you're all doing well. I have been down to, I slept in way too long and then went down to the shops. Get this video done and then I can get on with the journal that I'm meant to be making. Always getting myself sidetracked doing other things. I've got some challenges I really need to get a move on with too. All right, now, just going to make sure the corner's sort of opened up so it slips in there, all right? Because the corner has a habit of going down. It's upside down. Get it up the right way. Slip it down in. Try and get your writing straightish. And then just smooth it in there. That's not looking too bad. Making sure it's glued down in the corner nicely. All right, so that gives us our window there with our book page in. So the next thing we want to do is find a piece of paper. It's really easy, this part, that just fits this part here. And you want to run it down a little bit further than where our pocket is, just to make it nice and neat, or else when you sort of slip things in your pocket, you're going to see the blue stuff. So I think we will do, let's see what we've got. Got some of this. I like trying to find bits that look like they fit in nicely. Catastrophe, that sounds good. Now I don't mind the rough edges hanging over just a little bit. You want them hanging over rather than being too short and seeing some blue stuff, and you can always snip them off afterwards. So I think we'll use some of that. So then, as I said, we want it just a little bit longer than where the pocket starts. That's going to go in like that. And as you can see, I've ripped this a bit. Doesn't matter. You can just stick it down afterwards. So I might actually just make sure that's pretty straight. Could do with a little bit more straightening up though. I'm so bad at trying to cut straight. But again, we are covering it, so that's not going to matter too much either. Now, I'm just looking at the pocket here. It looks like what I've done is cut the envelope. You can see it here, it goes up there like that. Looks like I've cut it down to be a straight pocket there, because there's a fair bit of room over this side. So we'll probably do the same here too. So, which means we just take it down like this. That bit there like that, and then you can just snip it off. It's just a bit neater that way. Crooked as usual, but you get that. I like to keep these bits too for collaging. All right, so we'll stick this piece down now. So you don't want it to cover your window, of course, so I've got to make sure that we don't do that. So what I might do is put it like, but we do want it so it goes over there, like that. I'll just grab my roller. So that way it'll be like that. Right, now, looks like the next bit I did was put some, it was just tea dye paper that I ended up using down here, but you could use any paper. Just get the glue off my finger. But I do have a whole heap of strips of tea dyed paper, so it works well for me to use them up. So I'll just find one that fits. This looks like it might be pretty good. So that will go down just like that, just to cover up that middle bit there. Now you're going to have a little gap because you don't want to stick over the top. I mean, you can stick over the top of your hinge there where it turns, but I find it just gets a bit too bulky in that. So in this one, I didn't put anything over there. A lot of people use washi tape and that. I ended up just using some Distress ink and painting over it. Yeah, but this time I might actually just try and ink over it or whatever, just so it doesn't look so bright blue. But you can use washi or something if you prefer. So I think we'll stick this down because it looks like it fits pretty good. Then we'll just trim the top off afterwards. And the other thing you can do is ink all your pieces. That would look pretty cool. Ink around the edges. I can't be bothered, so, and it turned out all right without doing that. And of course you can do whatever theme and that you want. I want to do some botanical ones sometime. I think that'd look pretty good. But I do have so many of these old book pages, and that's great to use these as a base and then just do whatever on top that you feel like doing. Yeah, I always like to make sure that I can still turn my pages all right. Get off that extra glue. Alright, so that's got that. Now we can trim the top off. Just there you can see it's all sticking up, so it's quite easy to follow the envelope along and just trim it. You're better off letting things overhang than trimming them off than having them too short, so I don't mind a little bit of overhang to get the ripped look of the paper as well. So that's looking pretty good. All right, so now we've got to stick our pocket down. So I used Music Page on this pocket, as you can see there. So I think we'll try and do something similar. So I might stick the pocket down first and then we'll put the Music Page over the top. So we just need a thin bead of glue down this side just to stick it down and hold it for us. Thin bead, Nat. My glue's a bit keen. Get a bit of that off. There. Not too bad, this glue. You can, if you get it quick, you can tend to rub most of it off. It's still a bit glossy though, which is annoying. All right, now I've got this little bit which we broke here too, so I might fix that up. Now I just filled up one of these bottles. I'm hoping the glue's not too thick that I put in here because it was from an old bottle. Oh no, that's coming out. Just going to use that to run a bead down here to stick this back together like that. I thought I'd follow along with what I did before because that's what everyone's seen and wants to make. But of course you can just do it however you want. All right, so find some music paper and see if it's going to fit. here's a nice bit. Might use some of that. Wrinkled, but oh well, just adds to the vintage look. So just a rough guesstimate of how much we need, so it overhangs a bit. Now that doesn't overhang, but something crooked. That's going to fit fine though, from the looks. And take some off the bottom. So when we stick it down, you want to make this bit pretty well flush with the top of the pocket, and the rest can overhang. That doesn't matter because we can trim it off. And whatever you do, don't stick your pocket down. So sometimes I'll put a bit of grease-proof paper in there just to make sure that I don't do that. Let's come down a bit there. That's pretty good. So basically that is that side done, except for our embellishment and our tag and all of that, so which is great. So I definitely got plenty of time to do the other side now. So I'm just going to trim this bit off here. It's a bit better. Now what I also like to do is put a little thumb notch in here. It just makes it a lot more obvious that it's a pocket. You don't have to do that though, so I just use this. Is it a half inch? It's not a half inch, maybe 3/4 inch or whatever. Punch seems to just fit in there. Try and get it about halfway, and I just do a little tiny thumb notch. Just like that. So, and then I usually ink along here when I'm doing the embellishing part of things, just to make it stand out more. All right, so that's that side done. Now we've got to do this side. So for this side, I straightened out, you can see here it's straight down this line. Now I think I used a different style of envelope on that one, but that doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is just cut, or do we have to? Because we could probably just, does need to be cut just a little bit. So I'm going to cut down just this little edge here just a little bit, like that, so that we can straighten up this bit. And again, it doesn't necessarily need to be cut right down. Although it's getting pretty well there anyway, because we're going to cover it, so. And I'll do the same on this side. Just a little trim down there. Oh, better off cutting from this side with my sort of cutting. All right. Tidy it up a bit. It's not too bad. Now this is going to be a pocket in there. So what we need to do for that one now is to, this bit's annoying me, but we're covering that, so that's all right. Now I must have used tea dyed paper again, just to line this area here. And you want to tuck it in under there a little bit so that when you're slipping things in and out, again, you don't see the inside of the envelope colour. So I will find another piece of my tea dyed paper. But I've got stacks of these bits that I need to use up, so we'll slip that bit in there, I reckon. So we'll just cut that to size first. Or rip it to size more likely. Now I'll just check that it's going to go in easy enough for me once I've got the glue on. It's a little bit tight, but it will go. Might just cut it down just a tad more. This is the tiniest, weeniest bit. Alright, so we'll glue that and stick it down. It can get difficult with this glue doing this sort of thing, so if you prefer to use glue stick, then go for it. Which I probably should for this part, but I'll see how I go. Not too bad. Just make sure it's going to fold nicely. That will do. It's sort of there now, so it might as well stay there. So I'm just using my bone folder to press it down on the inside. All right, so like I said, you can see the blue in between there of the envelopes. Last time I painted it with distress ink that I'd watered down, which does wet the envelope, so it's probably not the best thing to do. So I'm thinking I might even use a water pen or something, not a water pen, but one of my markers, watercolour markers or something, just with some brown to go down them this time. So I'll worry about that afterwards. So it looks again like I just used tea dyed paper again on this part here, and then I did the pocket on the top of that. So we will do it like that. So I'll get one of my bigger pieces and see if it'll fit. Looking at that one. Oh, it's actually, we only need to go down to where we're doing the pocket. Probably do a bit of a bigger pocket if we need to. So we could try using up this bit. Let me just rip where it's cut here off and I'll see if it's going to fit or not. If not, I'll get another piece. That fits pretty good actually. So I would want to put it flushish to this side of the pocket, as much as it can be flush, and then we can trim. So we'll do that. Just going to fold these pages like that. Glue on the right side might help. Probably should have ripped it to the length we wanted. going down to about here, I reckon. Again, don't glue your pocket closed. I'm telling myself as much as I am you guys. That will be right. Now I'll rip this off a bit. I mean, I could stick it the whole way down and then rip it, but we're putting a pocket over here, so get my side that I like to use for ripping. So that's pretty good. We'll trim off this edge. You've got to be careful when you're doing this trimming because you don't want to cut your envelope open. But if I do, I do, and I can just stick it closed again, which I did a little bit. Just when you see that. But that's all right. All right. Get them bits out now. Let me just figure out which page is which here. So that's not our front. That's our front. So that looks pretty good. And then again, I like to put a little thumb notch just there. Then I can see, if I put a piece of paper in there, I can see it. Helps me get it out. So do that about here. There's a little bit there that's annoying me, but I'll just trim off. Okay, now we've got to do our pocket. So we've got this pocket here that's covered in book page with this tag in. So I made that with the, if I can find it under all my rubbish here. I know it's here somewhere and I'm determined to use it. The offcut of my envelope. I've got all these book pages. Here it is. There we go. So I use this that we cut off of this to make a little pocket to go there. So we will do similar. So it's going to be about like that. So I'll just take this off. And that's about almost right. We'll take this down. Just pull that little bit off. A little bit more off of here. It's very crooked. So I'll just straighten it up. Is that better? A little bit, still pretty crooked. All right, so that would go on just like that, but we cover this, so I might cover it before I stick it down, and I just covered that with some book page, some text page, so I think this will fit quite nicely. So I'll just stick it on like that. Do it the way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And that'll do, because that's where it wants to stick. Now I'll just rip around it. Keeps it nice and rough. Yeah, I don't think I folded it down at all. Alright, so that's our little pocket, which will sit just on the top here, like that. So before I put it down, I'm going to do it the smart way this time. I'm going to do a little thumb notch, like that. And then of course I'll just stick it down the bottom and along both the sides, leaving the top open. I don't know what time it is. I think it's like 6, 7 o'clock and I haven't had my lunch yet. Although I won't tell you what time I got out of bed. Not long ago. So I must get up early tomorrow because I've got a haircut. But while we haven't got too many cases around SA at the moment, I should go and get my Corona haircut before it's so heavy that I can't like lift my head. Alright, so that's created our little pocket there. So, I think that is pretty well it for those first 2 pages. So it's amazing that it goes from that to that, isn't it? It's beautiful. I love using the Titoed papers and the book pages, and I mean all the embellishment pictures all came from the same book as well, which I will show you when I harvest them so you can see, because they're definitely worth grabbing if you ever see them around, because it's got the book's about this thick and I only took a few pages to get all the pictures for this. So the only other thing I have to do is I made a hole there, so I will just patch that up while I remember that it's there. But yeah, it doesn't matter if you do any whoopsies, they're easily fixed on this. So just close it up like that. Alright, so I'm going to leave this video here. I figure if we just do a couple of pages each day, it gives people a chance to catch up. So the next video we'll do these 2 pages, which includes a flip out. And those 2, so it's going to take a week or so to get it done, but that's a bit of fun. I rather keep it little bits because it's easier for me just to get on and do a quick half-an-hour session, and then get on with my other projects that I've got to do. Nearly stick that down. There. Alrighty, take care guys, be good, and I will see you next time. Bye.